What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we got part 2 coming for the LSA build on the Purple Nurple, which we'll do a quick recap. Is a S14 with a Kouki front end swap on it. It's got a 5.3 LS in it with a T56, and we're taking off the regular intake and we are going to slap an LSA supercharger on it. So we got a couple more pieces in and got it over on the workbench, so let's get to it. All right, so got the new fittings all for the fuel rails on. Got the snout back from DC Porting. Shout out to him. I'll have a link in the description below. He put new bearings, new shaft. He cut down the casing so that I could fit the new pulley on. We got the new pulley on and we put the 598 black RTV silicone in between the snout and the lower. So we got that all torqued down. I just got to tighten these bolts and we are just about ready to slap this thing onto the purple car. Also, these little ears back here, I call them quote unquote ears. I don't really know what they're called, but I cut them off just so we could fit the fuel fittings in there. They came out before and blocked this piece. Let's see if I can find it on the ground here. This used to sit kind of like that, would block it, so cut that off, and now we'll be able to fit our fuel lines right on there. All right, the supercharger is ready to go. I obviously already told you I cut those fuel rails on. I put the gaskets on, and I didn't know that they were actually riveted on. So they come with rivets, and you can rivet it right to the supercharger, and I guess that's because it's so heavy that you rivet it to there. That way they don't fall off while you're setting it on there. So I think we're ready to set it on the car. I'm gonna grab Fowler and then we'll get it set down on the car. I already have the adapters are sitting on there, and we'll go ahead and sit on top of there. And then basically I'll have to maneuver these once it's in there to get everything lined up and get it to fit. But let's go ahead and get this supercharger on there. All right, so it's in there and it's freaking behemoth. Me and Fowler are looking at this trying to figure out.
I think it's gonna fit just fine.
I mean, everything is gonna stick out of the hood. That's all right. I mean, we don't have a hood over here, so maybe we won't have a hood over here. All the 240s with no hoods. I guess we're gonna have to cut out the hood on there. I don't know.
You already know what my boat is. Big cow hood.
Big cow hood. Well, we had the cow hood on that one, and that blew off and is destroyed.
Just for anybody doesn't know, they don't make cow hoods for 240s like we're talking about. So you go and buy
no.
a Chevrolet cow hood.
They do.
Not like we want.
LMC truck.
We gotta cut the one out for LMC truck.
Yeah, LMC truck. Tons of them.
Do a little bit of body work.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it looks pretty sick in there for sure. All right, so let's start working on getting the pulley routing all set up. All right, so one of the pulleys that comes with the kit is this idler, and this bolts in right down here onto the water pump. You got 3 bolts. There's one hidden behind here, 2 there, bolts in there, and then we'll show you after kind of how the belt wraps around. I think we do have to put in the power steering pump, so we'll have to get one of those, get that mounted in because of how the belt's going to wrap, so we'll show you that in a minute. So you saw me install, well, I guess first I installed the idler pulley. Had to take off the alternator pulley and stuff down there to get this one on. Got that one on, we'll wait to tighten it down. Got the Motion Raceworks. This is for the LSA to use a drive-by cable throttle body instead of using the normal drive-by-wire throttle body. So that'll give the same setup, and then it uses, wherever it is, the same low car, I forget the name of it, I'll put it in the link, the name of this throttle cable. So seems like we do need to get the power steering pump on there. I can't find the extra piece of the bracket here, so hopefully I can find that. We'll get the power steering pulley bolted on, and then that'll basically finish our routing for the belt. This is kind of, I just put this on there to kind of show you how it's going to be. There'll be a ton of wrap on the actual supercharger, so hopefully we won't get any slip using the, I believe this is a 6 rib belt instead of going to the 8. So, chugging along. I need to build part of a fuel line for this, but I cannot find my AN8 PTFE line that's good for E85. So I guess I'm gonna have to order some. This video kind of all over the place trying to get everything kind of going, but this is how it goes with doing projects like this. As soon as you put stuff on, you realize, oh, I need this, oh, I need that. Another thing we'll get is Fowler should be, probably in the next clip, he'll be welding to that tank, making it bigger so that we can actually put a larger lid on it. So we'll show you that next. Also want to show you guys that I changed the wheel color up. Didn't like the slate gray that was on the car, wanted something that popped better. So I went ahead with a nice white for these wheels. I think it'll look freaking awesome once we take the paint off. But I went and painted it for the first coat because these wheels, getting all the paint off, there must have been like 10 layers of paint from before me. So I was using paint stripper, everything, trying to get everything cleaned off. Got it mostly done. Painted it once, and I want to go back now and sand it smooth because there's a few little spots on it. So we'll get to that. I'll show a little bit of montage of slowly painting them. We're going to hit these with a 2K clear after the white paint to hopefully keep them in good shape. And then, yeah, this thing's going to be nasty with the white wheels. Supercharger, T56. So let's get back to work on this thing. All right, so tank is getting there. I think we have one leak we got to find on the bottom. So Fowler's going to continue to work on that. Maybe we should have built our own instead of splicing one together, but I figured it'd be easier. But anyway, I'm going to smooth out all the welds, and then we'll powder coat this the same illusion purple that we have in there. So it'll look good once it's done. And it's gonna sit right in there with a nice lid on it, so we'll be able to put ice in it. And then also we gotta put some of these weld bungs on there so we can run it to the top of the, or to the lid up here. So got that going. Also put on the power steering pump since we need that for the pulley routing. Now, come to my attention, since I've never done one with power steering, you got to put this on after it's bolted on, because I don't know how you would get those bolts in there. So I might have to pull the radiator out to put this pulley back on, and it's also a pretty tight squeeze in there. So we'll see how that all works and comes together. So I'm gonna mess with trying to make some mounts for this. So we'll weld onto the top here instead of using these here and get this guy mounted in there. So let's try and figure out something. All right, so I started making some brackets for the intercooler, just cutting those out, bending them up, just some super basic brackets to bolt it to the core support there. But I think that's going to do it for this one. Definitely learned that I kind of thought, I was like, oh, on paper I had everything. We're just going to drop the supercharger on it and be good to go. But there's definitely a lot of little things running into, like throttle cable not being long enough, having to run the power steering now and all this stuff. So going to get all those other parts that we're needing together, continue working on a couple of the fab things, and hopefully in the next video, in part 3, we'll be firing this thing up. So hopefully just a 3-part series, and then we'll be able to take this thing down the road. Now next week I am going to be on vacation, so there probably won't be a video next week, but or maybe there will. We'll see. We're doing something tomorrow I might do a quick video on, but we'll see. So hopefully you guys stay for part 3 coming real soon of getting this thing fired up. It's getting really close. Just a lot of little stuff, kind of the boring stuff, getting all that going, but I'll make sure I go over it for all the people that have questions for doing it this way. So appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Tell your friends.